what I'd like to talk to you about is the 5 critical steps to complete endpoint security. Now, the first step revolves around antivirus. We know you have to have it. Anti-malware detection in some form, whether it's an advanced next-gen technology or whether it is more of a mature signature-based solution, even if it's one built into the operating system. Regulatory compliance initiatives aside, we know we need some form of antivirus, anti-malware detection. The second and third steps are the key, and this is probably where we'll spend the most of the time in the dialogue between Abe and Konrad. It's that when you remove admin rights from the second step, the vast majority of malware and threats don't work. In fact, when you consider Microsoft critical vulnerabilities for 2020, 56% of critical Microsoft vulnerabilities don't even execute if there's no local admin rights by the user. In addition, when you take that to things like Microsoft Office, we're at 90% don't even execute. The question is why doesn't everybody just remove admin rights from all users? Now, many places have done that, but they've seen spikes in the help desk calls where they found it difficult to monitor or manage. We'll explore that. Next is pragmatic application control. And this is a little different than traditional application control because we're not just talking about tons of hashes in a database. We're talking about verifying the program that is being run has been authorized, it is in the correct location, it has the correct owner, it was installed by the correct installers, it wasn't just copied there, a different way of thinking about it. Then we get to the traditional approaches in steps 4 and 5, things like EDR, MDR, XDR. Right? Those tools are fantastic at detecting a breach, but if the end user doesn't have admin rights and we're already controlling what can run, anything that trips on an EDR standpoint has a high confidence that it's actually something that circumvented all of our prior controls. It's almost always going to produce evidence of compromise. So why not improve the efficiency of an EDR, a SOAR solution, etc., by doing all of the steps before that that make it seem yep, something happened, wasn't done by the end user. They didn't have the privileges to put something in the registry or drop a file. That's a high confidence that the attack vector itself was something new, unknown, or that advanced. And then finally, every other security tool that's out there, from logging to web proxy to vulnerability assessment agents, et cetera, et cetera.
The time for doing full pushes of 200 megabytes at a time for all is gone. We need to be fast, we need to be nimble, we need to be efficient, and so not have to worry about that.
Besides that, and people working remotely, we're using a lot more cloud solutions, right? So a lot of our workloads are not just within our defined network perimeter in our enterprise. It's everywhere else. It's in O365, it's in ServiceNow, it's in Salesforce, so it's everywhere else. So having that capability to understand who's accessing your data, where they're accessing it from, who they're giving it to, where they're sending it, you almost have to have that agent on the endpoint, especially when everybody's remote.
Now, everywhere where I consult, I always start off with, let's gently and carefully take away local admin rights. And it's not a binary issue, all or nothing. You can gradually do this, run alerts for a while before you go into block mode, etc. So it really is as painless a process as can be to implement it.
I think that's one of the biggest things that is a takeaway. Without executive sponsorship or leadership sponsorship, re-engineering the stack, cleaning up the environment,
Right.
all of that becomes a near impossibility. You have to recognize there is a problem and want to go solve it.